Hello, my name is Yanni. I'm a seven-figure e-commerce seller. I've sold on all the platforms. Majority of those sales are from Amazon. I also have a full-service Amazon agency called eCommerceville, where we do the full shebang. When it comes to Amazon, we do that for Amazon brands. Now, let's get into the video. Today, I want to speak about TikTok Shop versus Amazon. Pros, cons, where should you go, what you should start, what you should do in these platforms. Is there a better one? And we're really going to break them down. Now, so let's start with TikTok. Unless you're living under a rock, you know what TikTok is. And you probably know what TikTok Shop is. TikTok is the social app. TikTok Shop is the buying app in the social media app. TikTok Shop right now reminds me of Amazon years ago. The opportunity is amazing because you have all this organic traffic. You have this crazy conversion rate. You have live selling, which is a huge opportunity if you have a personality, great personality, if you're charismatic, if you know how to be on camera, if you know how to sell products. Live selling is amazing. There's so much traffic from the social media platform that really, if you have the good product, if you know how to advertise and you understand the platform, you can do insane numbers. I know people doing 5, 6, 700,000 a month in sales, and doing that on a new platform it's crazy. I mean, TikTok Shop is already kicking eBay's ass, which is crazy. eBay's been around for 30 years, and TikTok is the new kid on the block. So now, TikTok Shop, what are the pros? What are the cons? So, of course, the pros are an incredible amount of traffic. There's so many people using it. TikTok Shop right now, if you have good images, if you know how to do a good video, if you know how to use the power of affiliates, you can really do extremely well. Your return on ad spend, it can be through the roof. And if one of those videos goes viral, I mean, your product will go viral. We do an incredible amount of sales. Now, what you need to be careful of, especially at the beginning, is the cash flow. At TikTok, when you start, it has a 15-day plus delivery payout, meaning if someone buys something on Monday, we get it delivered on Thursday, I will get paid 15 days from that Thursday, 15 days from that day of delivery. So it might be a 20-day plus cycle of payouts, which when you're starting to do big volumes, it might put you in a bad cash flow position. I've had friends who've done 6 figures in sales in the first month. They didn't get almost any money at all, and they were in trouble. They're like, I can't buy any stock because all my money is in the platform. Now, the good thing is that if you perform well, if you have a good amount of volume, if you're not messing up orders, TikTok can shorten that window to 3 days. I believe even to 1 day they can shorten it, but 3 days for sure they can shorten it, which means that every 3 to 5 days you get your payouts, which means that your cash flow will be very, very good and solid. So bear that in mind. Another thing you should keep in mind with TikTok is because it's such a new platform, it's very buggy. You might get suspended sometimes because a bot just saw your account, saw something that they don't like or triggered something in the system, and they'll suspend you. Now, if you have someone, an account manager or someone you know on TikTok, just any contact with a human, that should be resolved. I've had friends who've been suspended for nothing, then they've called their account manager and everything gets resolved. But it is very buggy. It's very new. There's a lot of volume, a lot of things happening. So expect these things to happen, right? The basics still apply with TikTok. Even if it's an amazing opportunity, a lot of traffic, a lot of organic traffic, still you need to have a good product, because a bad product can do a good amount of volume, but a bad product in the long term won't do well, as with any platform, as in the real world. If I was a new brand, I would definitely consider if I should do TikTok. But the key here is to really understand how to do it. One thing to be careful is that if you're doing TikTok and you're doing Amazon, that can go very crazy, because on Amazon you might be doing a great amount of volume. On TikTok you might be doing a great amount of volume, and it can get very messy operationally. I'm always a big proponent of get big on one platform first and then go on to another. If I'm starting TikTok and if I'm doing 100,000 a month or 200,000 a month and I really understand it and I'm handling that without problems or very little issues, then I can jump on Amazon. But unless I've squeezed the juice out of TikTok or really have the operations very, very well, and I know that I can double the sales and still handle it, I wouldn't go to another platform. Master one platform very well, then go to another one. That's what I always suggest, because I've done it in the past. I've went from Amazon to another platform without really getting Amazon right, and we felt the pain of that, because everything can become a disaster and a nightmare. Remember, you're selling products, and the more volume you're doing, the more complications can happen. So short summary, TikTok, the pros are so many, but the biggest ones are great conversion rate, amazing traffic, a limited amount of sellers compared to the traffic. There are very few sellers compared to the amount of people who are buying. More and more sellers are coming, of course, but still, compared to Amazon, it's less sellers. So you have the first mover advantage. If you go on TikTok now, even if it's not brand new, you have a big advantage to do extremely well. But be wary of the cash flow, be wary it's buggy, be wary that it's not as simple as it looks. If you don't understand how to do videos, if you don't understand how to list, if you don't understand how to really advertise on TikTok, you're not going to do as well as you see people doing on the internet. So be wary of that. Now let's go on to Amazon. Amazon, it's still number one in sales. It's still number one in traffic conversion and reputation. It's still number one. This is a crazy stat. From the worldwide e-commerce, I believe over 40% Amazon owns, which is like an insane amount, insane stat. So that's how big Amazon is, right? Bear that in mind. So the pros of Amazon is, of course, the number one and most trusted platform. Everyone goes to Amazon, they trust them 100%. You have the Prime badge, which everyone knows, everyone's getting their stuff next day. TikTok has something similar, but it's not as popular and trusted as of yet. TikTok doesn't have the same amount of trust that Amazon has yet. Now that can change. And what I do believe also is Amazon is going to buy TikTok at one point, but that's another topic for another day and another video. So Amazon is still number one. Amazon is an amazing platform, but the key is to make sure that you understand this is a more mature platform. There's more competition. There's a lot more sellers. So you can get away with a little bit more things on TikTok because it's a new platform. On Amazon, you really need to have great images, have all your compliance, have your brand good and ready to go, because you can really get into trouble fast. But as amount of pros come, it's like it's number one with conversion sales. Everyone is on Amazon. Another thing that most people forget is if your brand does very well on TikTok, that can transfer to Amazon. What I've seen is brands that do very well on TikTok, people start searching them on Amazon. And if they don't find them, like, why is that? But if they find them on Amazon, you can get sales on that, and it gives you extra credibility, because if someone sees you on TikTok and then they see you on Amazon, they're like, oh wow, so this is a brand they see everywhere, so it must be a legit brand. So bear in mind that if you do well on TikTok, that can transfer on Amazon. That's something I see people don't notice, but it's actually a big thing. People that do very well on TikTok, it transfers to Amazon if done correctly, and you start getting the search volume organically. Now, the cons of Amazon are something to consider. Cash flow as well. Payouts are about 15 days. Every 2 weeks, you're going to get your money, and they're going to hold 5, 7, even sometimes 10 days worth of disbursements. So always be wary of the cash flow cycles on Amazon. Be wary that sometimes when you're opening a new account, it might take longer. They might ask you for more compliance, more documents. So be wary of that. Amazon and their seller support can be very tricky. They're notoriously bad with seller support. So TikTok and Amazon, they're very similar on that. TikTok has quite the bad seller support. Be conscious of that. It's not smooth selling as well with Amazon. Amazon is a more mature platform. It has more sales and traffic, but it's still not an easy platform. Now, which platform would I prefer? Which platform would I start with? It really depends where your skill set is. For me personally, if I'm starting a brand, I'll always start it on Amazon because that's where my skill set is. I know how to advertise. I also have an agency. I have the team who can help me with that. But if I had equal skill set on both, right now I'd probably choose TikTok just of the hype it has and the amount of traffic it has compared to sellers. If I had the equal amount of skills, I would choose TikTok just because of that. But again, bear in mind, TikTok is not that easy. I really do believe Amazon will acquire TikTok, and that's a good thing if it happens. TikTok was closed a couple of months ago, and then it was open the same day. So there's always these regulations with TikTok that you need to be wary of. But TikTok is a great opportunity. Amazon is a great opportunity, is really what you want to choose. They're very similar in a lot of things. Big differences, the way that you advertise on TikTok is a lot more videos, a lot more affiliate. You have the live selling. Amazon, you don't have that. Amazon is more PPC advertising, keywords, product targeting, so on and so forth. So that's a different part, but both are great opportunities. It's really what you're more comfortable with, what excites you the most, and where's your biggest skill set. In a perfect world, you go big on Amazon or TikTok, and then you go to the other platform, because ideally you want to be big on both. If you have the staff, the revenue, and the operational know-how, I would go on both platforms. So I wouldn't discriminate. Never discriminate sales channel. If one works better than the other one, go to them. As we are in 2025, Amazon is still king, but TikTok is catching up, and TikTok is on fire. So I will definitely have a look at it, but be careful in how you analyze it and how you go about it. I hope you liked the video. A lot more to come.